And now at 5, tracking coronavirus cases in your child's school. Why it may be hard to get that information right now and what the state is doing to address the situation.
Coming up, we'll tell you what the city plans to do to address ongoing public safety issues downtown.
And the November election is less than 3 months away. Tonight, we asked Governor Holcomb about some people's concerns about making sure their vote counts.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 5, streaming now.
And good evening here at 5 o'clock. First tonight, as parents grapple with whether it's safe for their children to return to the classroom, we raise this question. Did you know that your child's school does not have to tell you about positive COVID-19 cases?
WRTV Investigates has learned the state only requires your school notify families that are directly impacted and need to quarantine.
Our KATY joins us now with why the system can be confusing for parents.
Perry Township Schools uses an automated phone system to alert parents and staff about positive COVID-19 cases within that school building. But state rules do not require that level of communication.
Jolene Toffick is a concerned mom. Her daughter is attending in-person classes at Douglas MacArthur Elementary in Perry Township. Jolene is torn about sending her child because Jolene has health issues, but her daughter has special needs and benefits from in-person services. While Perry Township notifies parents and staff about positive cases within that school building, Jolene and other parents are pushing for even more transparency. They want the district to make it public when any case is identified within the district.
If we hear about these numbers through the grapevine, I think more panic sets in than them being transparent. Some parents might disagree, because I've seen some disagree, saying they don't want to hear and that people hear more numbers and they panic. And I do understand that concern as well, but I still think it's important because we're trying to know, we're trying to keep our community safe.
WRTV Investigates did some checking and found the state does not require school districts to notify parents and staff about COVID-19 cases unless they or their child has been identified as a close contact of the exposure and needs to quarantine. Warren and Wayne Townships and Beech Grove are among those taking this approach. But other districts like Perry, Decatur, and Lawrence Townships are opting to share more information with parents and staff in school buildings. Schools are able to make their own decisions about releasing information as long as they do not violate any HIPAA or FERPA laws, the state told us. This notification system can be confusing as parents across central Indiana are getting hit with varying bits of information depending on how much their school district chooses to share.
I'm not trying to create panic. I just want the transparency, like, hey, we had another case in the district. This is how we're handling it. Just reassure us, parents.
Working for you, KATY, WRTV.
Perry Township Schools told us while they communicate with families of students in the affected building, quote, the families of quarantined students receive a separate phone call because there are special instructions that must be conveyed. Since the start of school, we shared our reminders with all of our families to sign up for Parent Square, our primary communication channel, if they haven't already, end quote. State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box did announce today the state is working on a public dashboard for COVID-19 cases in schools. They are now collecting student records and plan to publish the dashboard in mid to late September. It will include information about student and staff cases. And while the state doesn't have a school database right now, WRTV is tracking COVID-19 cases at Central Indiana schools. We check out and verify every tip reported to us that we can, and it's then added to our database. You can search the database at WRTV.com and see if there are any reported cases at your child's school. Now let's get to today's coronavirus numbers in Indiana, and there's a drop in both positive cases and deaths. 506 more Hoosiers have tested positive, the lowest number in the past 5 days. Those results were recorded August 10th through yesterday. 82,336 Hoosiers have tested positive. The overall positivity rate remained unchanged at 8.8%. 14 more Hoosiers have died from COVID-19, half as many as reported yesterday. Those deaths occurred between August 14th and yesterday. The statewide total now stands at 2,968.
The city of Indianapolis is directing more funding toward downtown recovery efforts after ongoing concerns with open drug use and public safety issues. The $750,000 investment was just announced this morning by the mayor, IMPD, and downtown Indy. WRTV's Megan Sanctorum is working to find out how the money will be used and how the community is responding.
Residents and business owners downtown tell us there have been ongoing issues with public safety ever since the pandemic started. Now the city is announcing a plan to address it. Violence, drug use, and loitering. Those are just some of the issues people downtown say they deal with on a regular basis. Some business owners say it's even kept customers away, and it's impacting their bottom line.
It's beyond frustrating. You really don't know who to reach out to.
City Market and Monument Circle are two areas that have been hit especially hard. Just yesterday, there was a stabbing outside of the market, but change could be on the way. The city is investing $750,000 in additional public safety efforts. The money will be used to fund an additional 80 hours a week in off-duty officer patrols near problem areas. That's triple the current amount. It will also be used to pay for 8 safety ambassadors. These are unarmed civilians and cadets who can work with businesses and serve as an extra set of eyes and ears for police. Lastly, it will cover the cost of portable and permanent security cameras that will be connected to IMPD's B-Link program, giving officers real-time and quicker access to the footage. While everyone we spoke with said they're glad the city is investing in a possible solution, they had mixed reactions on how the money is being used.
It's a long time coming. I think it's a good thing. I do think that we need a bigger police presence in Indianapolis.
I'm glad we're spending something on it, but I don't like the way we're doing it, just because it seems like, you know what would be great for all these homeless people? More cops, and that's not what anyone really should be wanting.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, WRTV.
And the city leaders say they will immediately begin working with business owners to find the best spots to install additional cameras. The extra police patrols are expected to start by the end of the month. Kyle.
A fantastic weather day here across central Indiana for the second day in a row. Indianapolis not making it into the 80s, at least so far. We may hear over the next hour, but as of now, the high temperature 79 did make it to 80 in Muncie and Lafayette, one of the warmer spots at 83 degrees. Lots of blue sky, just a few clouds out there, and we've got that north to northeast breeze around 10 miles per hour with temperatures in the upper 70s. 83 is mentioned there in Lafayette and 79 with sunshine in Bloomington. This area of high pressure is bringing in that less humid, more comfortable air and also keeping our weather very quiet here over the next couple of days. So with those clear skies, temperatures are going to cool fairly quickly because it does that with that less humid air. It can heat up and cool down more efficiently. We're into the upper 60s here by 10 o'clock. As we go into tomorrow, nearly a carbon copy of today. Weekend does have some rain chances, and we'll take a look at when some of that heat will return.
We'll see you soon, Kyle. Thank you. Now to Democracy 2020 and the upcoming November election. The Hamilton County Clerk is now encouraging people to register now for absentee ballots so they're returned in time for the 2020 election. She says they've received many calls from people concerned about the post office and its ability to return mail-in ballots in time. WRTV's Stephanie Wade asked Governor Holcomb today if he shares this concern and what Indiana's plan is for this year's election amid the pandemic.
And I would encourage people to do it sooner rather than later, just for the very reason that folks might be concerned.
As worries over the post office's ability to return mail-in ballots in time trouble hopeful voters across the country. Governor Holcomb is echoing the Hamilton County Clerk's message today to register if you qualify for absentee ballots now. Indiana is one of just 8 states not accepting concerns over the coronavirus as a reason to vote absentee. Neighboring states like Illinois, Michigan, and Ohio are automatically mailing applications to registered voters who can vote by mail without an excuse.
I think a vast majority of folks that I hear from want to vote actually in person. And thankfully, we had a Exhibit A, the primary election, where we proved that we could do it safely.
Indiana's primary, which was slated for May 5th, was pushed to June 2nd this year and allowed no excuse mail-in voting under the state's stay-at-home orders. But the governor says he does not see the need for no excuse mail-in voting, as people can begin casting their ballot in person October 6th to avoid Election Day crowds. Stephanie Wade, WRTV.
Now, to see if you can vote absentee, visit our website at WRTV.com to see a list of qualifications.
Tonight at the Democratic National Convention, an Indianapolis mother will be in the spotlight along with former President Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden's running mate, Senator Kamala Harris, who is poised to make history. ABC's Zoran Shah reports from Delaware.
Tonight, California Senator Kamala Harris on the verge of making history as the first black woman and Asian American to be nominated to a major party's presidential ticket. Her appearance inside the Chase Center in Delaware coming 1 week after Joe Biden selected her as his running mate.
Joe, I'm so proud to stand with you. And I do so mindful of all the heroic and ambitious women before me.
Harris's team says she hopes voters will be able to see themselves in her speech. She's expected to set out her vision for the nation and make a case for electing Joe Biden president, something the nation got a taste of last week.
But as Joe always points out, this election is about more than politics. It's about who we are as a country.
Last night, the senator watched as delegates around the country pledge their support for Biden's presidency.
And 119 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
Moments later, he officially accepted the nomination.
Well, thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart.
Followed by his wife, Jill Biden, making the case for why he should be elected.
He will do for your family what he did for ours. Bring us together and make us whole.
This afternoon, Joe Biden speaking to the DNC's Hispanic caucus, giving a little preview of his new running mate's widely anticipated speech tonight.
Kamala and I will be fighting to earn every single Latino vote. We can't do this without you.
Also speaking tonight, Senator Elizabeth Warren, hoping to generate excitement for Joe Biden from the left wing of the party and Barack Obama. Like Kamala Harris, he was once a part of the ticket with Joe Biden, and of course, no stranger to making history. Zoran Shah, ABC News, Wilmington.
The Indianapolis mother who will also speak tonight is Deandra Dykes. She has become an outspoken anti-violence advocate after her son was left paralyzed by a stray bullet at the age of 13. She is scheduled to speak tonight sometime between 9 and 9:30. Ms. Dykes is also a WRTV Jefferson Award winner. Live coverage kicks off tonight at 7 on ABC News Live, the network streaming channel. Primetime coverage here on WRTV will begin at 10 o'clock.
I'm Nicole Griffin tonight in Speedway, where the Coke lot is very quiet just days before the 104th running of the Indy 500. How no fans camping out or parking this year is impacting local nonprofits.
Quite a sight in Indianapolis today, one that will be repeated on Sunday. We'll hear from the IndyCar driver who has a special relationship with those pilots.
And you couldn't ask for much better weather here across central Indiana, enjoying temperatures around 80 degrees now. But look back into the Plain States, the Dakotas pushing 100 degrees. We'll talk about when that summer heat and humidity will return. You're watching WRTV News at 5.
We are just 4 days away from the 104th running of the Indy 500. Tonight, we're taking a closer look at the impact of having no fans at the race this year. WRTV's Nicole Griffin reports it's hitting the nonprofit organizations that rely on race weekend for fundraising hard.
Typically in the days leading up to the Indy 500, the Speedway Lions Club would have about 40 members working right here in the Coke lot as race fans pull in to camp out for the weekend. But obviously, with no fans at the race this year, their largest fundraiser is canceled. Born and raised in Speedway, Vincent Noblet looks forward to Indy 500 race weekend every year.
I'm sad. I miss it. I grew up here. I love the race.
Noblet is on the board of directors for the Speedway Lions Club. The Coke Lot is where he joins dozens of others every year to greet fans. It's a fundraiser that typically brings in several $1,000s for the organization.
We have people, race fans from all over the country coming in, starting on Thursday before the race.
The money the Lions Club raises during Indy 500 weekend helps award scholarships to Speedway high school seniors and allows them to serve the community at several events throughout the year.
Race weekend really makes or breaks the Lions Club for the year and funds.
I mean, we have race family across the world. We always joke that we're a town of 12,000 people, but we invite our closest 300,000 closest friends and family members for the month of May. And we are asking if you have been to Speedway, if you love Speedway, if you have a special place in your heart for our town, we would love a contribution to the effort here to relieve some of the stress on these nonprofits.
The Exchange Club of Speedway has set up a donation section on their website to help fill the gap this year. Money will then be distributed to nonprofits that are hurting right now throughout the town. Working for you in Speedway, Nicole Griffin, WRTV.
Well, the town of Speedway estimates the loss for nonprofits alone this year is $272,000. We have a link in this story on the WRTV app that will take you directly to the Speedway Exchange Club site where you can donate to the COVID Community Relief Fund.
And despite no fans and the date change, many traditions about the 500 remain, and one of those is the pre-race military flyover. This year it will be done by the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds. They flew into Indianapolis today, and it's always a spectacular sight. The Thunderbirds feature 6 F-16 Fighting Falcons. There to see it all today was IndyCar driver Connor Daly. This is the third 500 where Daly has been sponsored by the Air Force.
To be representing for the Air Force, I mean, it's been the most special thing in my career for sure for the last 3 years. The relationship's growing every year. I met some of the most impressive people I think that I've ever met in my life through this deal. So really cool to be a part of it, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Daly's car this year is a tribute to Bell X-1, the first crewed aircraft to exceed the sound barrier. It happened in 1947, which is why Daly's car sports the number 47. What is today's U.S. Air Force was also founded in 1947. And another 500 tradition took place at the Indianapolis Zoo, but nothing quite as fast. The 41st annual ZOOPOLIS 500, the greatest spectacle in tortoise racing. 4 tortoises given the names to drivers put to the test: James, Simon, Elio, and Ed. This year's race was quite a bit faster than some previous races, and in the end, it wasn't even close. James easily won over Simon and very much enjoyed his fruit salad victory meal. Ed and Elio never really provided much competition there. That's always such a fun one to see every year. But Kyle, those tortoises got quite good weather for their race. We're kind of hoping the same one for Sunday.
Yeah, you know, you don't need to be in a hurry this evening. Just kind of take that stroll, enjoy the nice weather out there, get yourself some fruit salad or maybe some milk. Yeah, there you go. All right, well, our temperatures here as we go through the next couple of days are going to start to warm up a little bit. But out there right now, we are sitting in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. It's 79 downtown, 75 for you in Columbus. And as we look around Indianapolis, Castleton coming in at 79. As we look into Martinsville, and even 80 degrees for you here on this Wednesday evening. There's that breeze out of the northeast around 10 to 15 miles per hour, and that is bringing in the less humid air, really the humidity a non-factor today. And it will continue to be that way here through Thursday. The muggy meter, it starts to go up just a little bit here as we go into the upcoming weekend. I think by Saturday, we'll notice a little bit of that mugginess in the air once again. But tonight with those clear skies, AC not going to have to work overtime here. In fact, you might be able to open up the windows a little bit. 57 with clear skies, a wind that'll be under 5 miles per hour for us. And breaking down your forecast tomorrow, gonna need those sunglasses for sure. It is a day filled with sunshine and temperatures that will warm. We'll get to 60 degrees here at 8 a.m. after starting in the 50s, 73 at 11. So for your lunch hour, very pleasant out there, 75 degrees with sunny skies. And we'll get back, I think, into the lower 80s tomorrow. Much of central Indiana will get back into that 80-degree range here, calling for a high of 82 in Indy and Columbus, 81 Muncie into Richmond, so a little closer to average for this time of year. That average high is 84, but again, tomorrow it's going to be a dry day. As we go through the end of the week and the weekend, there are some rain chances, but notice it's only about 20 to 30%. And as we look at TrueCast here, this is 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon. I think the best chance of any of that rain as we get into Friday is going to be from around Bloomington to Rushville, areas to the south here. Rest of us will just see a few clouds as we go through the end of the week, and temperatures that will continue that moderating trend here as we get to a high of 84 degrees by Friday afternoon. And the forecast heading into the weekend, again, gets a little bit warmer and a little more humid here. We'll have a high temperature of 83. There's that 30% chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Saturday. Sunday for race day, we're going to keep in that isolated chance for a little bit of rain, but only at 20%. So that means an 80% chance that we're going to stay dry, right, with a high temperature of 85. And there's the summer heat. Even though we're getting a little break from it here, August rolls on and the heat will build once again. We'll have those highs approaching 90 degrees by Tuesday. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more on the news at 5.
Well, it's now official. Luke, Bryan, Katy Perry, and Lionel Richie are returning as hosts of American Idol here on WRTV and ABC. Ryan Seacrest will also continue as host. And right now, virtual auditions are taking place across the country to select the contestants for the next season. Zoom auditions for Indiana hopefuls are set for Friday, August 28th. To sign up, go to americanidol.com/auditions. You have to be 15 to 28 years old. The next season of Idol is expected to air in the spring sometime. Movies for 15 cents ahead on the news at 5:30, where you can cash in on this special deal tomorrow.